YouTube channel. It's your girl, Meaghan McKinley. Oh, what's up? Well, thanks you guys for tuning back in. So today I'm going to be doing my first Get Ready With Me. As you can see, I'll share some of the products I've used on my face. And it's all about the 5 things I wish someone had told me before I moved to LA. Yes, LA, Los Angeles, California. Honey, I'm just trying to put y'all up on game. So before we hop into this video, I have to tell you, make sure that you have subscribed to my YouTube channel. Like, comment, share with a friend. Get in tune with what Meaghan McKinley is all about, y'all. I'm just so excited to really be doing my YouTube channel. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. I'm excited for this. So you're gonna just follow me as I go through this routine. I've already put on my eyebrows and a little bit of concealer. I prime my face. We're just gonna hop right into it. So today's topic for my Get Ready With Me is 5 things that I wish someone had told me before moving to LA. I've been here for 3 years, and when I first got here, I was in total shock. It's like something drew me to this city, and I was so excited. Like, I remember the music I was listening to in my car and everything, and I really came out here with $500 in my pocket and a prayer. Luckily, I have a family that really supports me and supported me in everything that I was doing, especially my mom. So I did not have to drive across country. I did not have a crazy trip like that. My car was shipped. I have sorority sisters that live here, and I knew I was going to stay with one of my sorority sisters. So I had that set up. Let's hop in though to these beauty looks as we get our chit chat going. If you all follow me on Instagram, you may have seen a post where I talked about my favorite foundation. And y'all, I'm looking in the mirror. I'm looking at my side camera because that's where the Sony is. I'm looking at the camera, so just please ignore my eye lines. Yeah, like I said, may have mentioned this was one of my favorite foundations. It's Butterscotch by Black Radiance, and it's a drugstore foundation, and this is what I use, this is what I love. This is a foundation I found that really matches my skin color without me having to like mix it or anything like that. But now as I'm getting more into my beauty bag, I want to try something different. I'm thinking about the NARS, but I'll be making that purchase sooner or later. Let's jump into number 1. So the number 1 thing I wish somebody would have told me is that central AC, baby, is a luxury here in Los Angeles. I did not know that a city could have as much heat as it is year round. That majority of the apartments in LA do not have central AC. You have a box AC in your apartment, in majority of your apartments, and the only places that you might have central AC are those apartments deemed luxury. And like, I don't know where you all live, I don't know where you all are from, but I came to LA out of Atlanta. So Atlanta, I guess, is housing is more modern, even though there are some older developments. But every apartment I ever went to in Atlanta has central air. Every apartment I ever went to when I was in college in North Carolina has central air. So I was really like, that was my biggest shock. When I went looking for apartments, I'm like, what? Y'all ain't got no central AC? And like, if you wanted AC, you was paying hella money. Like, and then it would still be looking like an apartment out the 80s. I was just like, oh man, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Like, I was nervous, but I was so happy to get my first apartment when I got to LA, because I just felt, I don't know, it feels good to be that independent. Like, I really had to do everything out here by myself. All right, so jumping right on into number 2 as I apply my concealer. The number 2 thing I wish somebody would have told me before moving to LA is that central AC is a luxury, but also a washer, dryer, in unit, and refrigerator is a luxury. Y'all don't understand how many apartments in LA do not come with a fridge. I'll go on and let y'all know. When I first moved to LA, my first apartment was $1,400. This was a 500 square foot studio built in the 70s, and I was not per se anywhere special in the city. I was living in the valley. So I'm paying $1,500 for a box. When I have company over, I gotta daggone make sure my bed is straight, my living room is straight, and the kitchen, because whoever comes in your house gonna see all of that. And they had a special when I moved in where you can get like $100 gift card or $300 or something like that. So what I did, instead of getting a gift card, I knew I didn't want to buy a fridge, but they had a fridge that you can rent monthly. The monthly rent for the fridge was $50. So that's like an extra $50 they would have tagged on to my bill. So I said, instead of the gift card, however the gift card went out, because my mom, she be on it, she said, see if you can get your fridge paid up for like 6 months or something like that, whatever, how much the gift card was. And I was like, okay. So they went for it, and I was in that apartment for 2 years. And when I tell you, they never charged me for the fridge. Like, I missed out on whatever the special was, but you know, you do the math. Like, imagine if I stayed longer, I saved so much money not paying for that fridge. But it's just crazy to me that you can be paying $1,500 and your home doesn't even come with the basic necessities. So yeah, number 2. I wish somebody would have told me that. Because I promise you, maybe some of this stuff might have altered me even coming to LA if I was like, I gotta live like this? What? Because I've never lived in an apartment until I went to graduate school. I've always lived in a house. I don't count college dorms as that, you know, apartment life, but I've always lived in a house, so it's just certain things I was accustomed to. You know, I was blessed to, you know, have that experience, but you know, it's a little bit of culture shock for those of us that have not experienced that type of living, especially if you're not from California. All right, I'm gonna go on and bake my face now. And as I bake my face, let's get into number 3. My number 3 thing I wish somebody would have said was that LA has 1,100 different names. And by names, I mean, it's so many different neighborhoods. You go out for brunch one Sunday, somebody telling you they live in Mid-City, somebody tell you they live in Linwood, somebody telling you they live in over in Silver Lake, somebody telling you they live in downtown LA, somebody telling you they live in North Hollywood, East Hollywood. I'm like, huh? Where are these places? And little do you know, if you drive around LA, you probably have been in those neighborhoods, but you just, you know, think you're in LA. And also, like, LA is real big on, like, LA County. LA County is huge and covers everything. Then they talk about, you know, where I live in the valley. I'm a valley girl. I've been a valley girl since I've been here. Oh, the valley is so far, blah, 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 blah. But living in Atlanta, being from North Carolina, honestly, it takes 20 to 30 minutes to get anywhere in the city. So I don't understand what's so far. I guess because sometimes you gotta get on the 405, which people dread depending on what area you're coming from. But it's always 2, 3, 4 different ways to get around to different parts of quote unquote LA. So definitely do your research before you move. If you know anybody out here, ask people, because different neighborhoods are different things. Some are safer than others, some are less expensive than others. When I moved out here, they said the valley was cheap. Now that I've been here for a while, I'm like, the valley is not that cheap. And maybe it's because a lot of people move over here. It's more like the suburbs. A lot of celebs live over here. A lot of your favorite YouTubers live in the valley. Number 4. So number 4 is also about living in LA. You want to live where you work, because I know it's no secret, you've probably heard how bad LA traffic is. I have always lived either 5 or 10 minutes from work, so I've never had that issue of worrying about traffic, always having to plan ahead, unless like I'm going to an event. Back to what I was saying. You want to live where you work, but if you can't live where you work, because if you're in Beverly Hills working, you may not have Beverly Hills money to live in Beverly Hills. So if you can't live where you work, live where you can play. Or live where you would want to play. That would be my advice. And I wish somebody would have told me that. But thinking about where I live, thinking about where I live and where I work, that if I did want to do a little bit of drive where I am, I would probably move closer back to the Poppin area of North Hollywood, which would still only be 5 minutes from my job because that's where I work. And or I would move to actual like Hollywood, those Hollywood neighborhoods, because it's like Poppin, that's where events happen, that's where a lot of stuff is. You're central. You kind of like could be in a central location to different parts of town and things like that. So if I could live anywhere in the city and my job wasn't an issue, I would definitely live in Inglewood. I would definitely live in Inglewood. Because honestly, like, LA is only 8% black. Most of the black people live in Culver City, Inglewood. Like, I would move in that area so I could just see more people that look like me. When I first moved to LA and moved into my old apartment, I promise you I did not see no black people for like 2 weeks. So, yeah. That's also one thing to keep in mind, just depending on what you came to the city for and stuff like that. Okay. Y'all. My favorite lip pencil is Court. But anywho, as we go into number 5, last but not least. And the 5th thing I wish somebody would have told me before moving to LA, don't let anybody tell you you're going to struggle, you're going to be homeless or anything like that. Just because that may have been their story, their homegirl, homeboy story, that does not mean and it's going to be your story. It does not mean that it has to be your story. Like, I got a lot of those type of comments when I had told people I was moving to LA. And because I had moved to LA without a job, maybe that was it. But I had got a lot of those comments, and I was like, granted, it's a struggle. Whenever you move somewhere by yourself, you can't always depend on on certain people all the time. You got to kind of have your own network. You got to kind of be able to do stuff on your own. That's like a struggle in itself. If you are like me, like, I've always had my mom, my brother. Before everything happened, I had my dad. When I moved on the East Coast, like, I never had to worry about asking anybody outside my immediate family for help. So that was a big learning experience for me. But everybody's struggles is not always going to be, I'm going to be homeless, living in my car, I ain't had no food to eat, just struggling, you know, I had to everybody's story not going to be like that. My struggle was that I now had to ask for help. I had to reach into my network, my NCCU network, my Spell House network, sorority. I have met some more sorority sisters out here. And it's like, when you ready to make something shake, you gotta let stuff be known. I never had to live with someone. Like I said, I came out here, I didn't have no job. I had $500. And then I didn't have a job for about 6 weeks. It took me about 6 weeks to secure a job. So I, of course, ran out of that money. Because by the time I do gas, all that stuff, $500 goes. I was racking up credit cards. People don't know, like, first 3 months I was in LA, I was sleeping up on a blow-up bed. But after, you know, that season and then getting my own place and like kind of just building from the ground up, it was like a big accomplishment. You know, I wasn't homeless. Granted, I had to, you know, do what I had to do because I wanted to be here. But to me, that's not like a huge struggle. If I had planned more properly, I probably could have came out here and moved into my own place off jump. Don't let anybody make it seem like you just gonna struggle and be out here. This is the city that you have been called to. Everything's gonna work out. Like, everything's gonna check out. So don't have fear, and don't let other people's fears influence your decision, influence your dream, influence what you're trying to do, what you're trying to have going on. Because honestly, the only person walking and living in it is you. You got to live with yourself every day. My biggest thing is I did not want to have the regret of not ever chasing my dream or going to LA. But I just wanted to share that because I know a lot of people are like thinking about 2021, new beginnings, fresh looks. And if LA is one of those cities you're looking to, you know, I just wanted to give some words of wisdom. And one more little tidbit, the best way to find an apartment in LA, because there's just so many housing instructions, is honestly drive. Your best deals are going to be the ones that you drive and find. Not on apartment.com, not on Craigslist, none of that. It's going to be you just happen to look around. That's how I found this building. The first time I went apartment shopping, I looked at the building I'm living in right now. At that time, they were charging $1,500 or $1,500 for a 1-bedroom, but it was like a small 1-bedroom. So honestly, when I first came here, I was making $40,000 a year. I couldn't even afford that little studio I was in, but I know I had to live somewhere. So I came back, I was like, dang, I was like, it's beautiful, it's brand new, it was modern. I wanted to find something that was comparable, that I could have a washer and dryer unit, because I'm not no laundromat girl. Like, and I did that, and I like, you know, that's something that I really wanted, but I wasn't able to get that my first time. But when I came back again, my salary increased, I could have a different type of style of living, and it was more expensive. Like this time around, it was, the apartment was $1,800, and other things are taxed into it, but I got it for $1,750. It still ended up being $1,800 with utilities and everything. But I was able to comfortably afford this apartment now, even after it increased, and like be okay. Thank God. You know, so many things have happened in my life, but he has sustained me during this pandemic, as far as my home, as far as my job, and everything else. So like I said, everything will work out if it's meant for you, period. And so with that being said, thanks you all for tuning into my first Get Ready With Me. And I appreciate you all for tuning in. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram at the Meaghan McKinley. And you can follow me on Twitter at Meaghan McKinley. And let's interact, let's engage. Also, I have a giveaway. So if you all follow me on my Instagram account, you all will see what the giveaway is going to be. And I'm gonna let you all know right now. Go to my Instagram, the Meaghan McKinley. Look at the video I posted. You'll see what I will be giving away this holiday season for my first giveaway. And all you have to do is make sure you're subscribed to my channel. You follow me on Instagram, and that you tag a friend in the comments and be like, hey girl, and then you're entered to win. So I'll catch you all next time. Thanks for tuning in, and y'all have a bomb week, okay? Bye-bye. I got a new dress for you.